It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. It is The Conway Show. The pursuit has ended. The guy's still in his car at 153rd and Inglewood Avenue. So he lives to fight another night, right? Enjoying his cigarettes and running away from the cops. That's how he spent his evening. A little different than mine, a little different than yours, but guy went for it in life. You know, got to give him that. All right, let's talk to Paul Haddad here. He's an author. He's having a pre-Super Bowl book signing of one of his many, many books that he has written. And he's with us. Paul, how you, bub?
I'm great, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, I really appreciate you coming on. That Freewaytopia book you wrote on how freeways shape Los Angeles. Can we talk about that book first?
Absolutely, and it's actually pertinent to the speed, the high pursuit right now.
Yes, but I also heard, and Paul, you're a special at this. I did like 8 minutes of research on this, 20 years ago. But they were in the 1950s. The city of Los Angeles, the county of LA, had a plan. A long-term plan to build the freeways in Los Angeles. San Diego had a similar plan. And then 40, 50 years later, San Diego was able to develop about 96% of their freeways, where in LA, we were less than 50%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Why? How did we drop the ball like that? Was it constant protests from people?
Yeah, everything shifted in the 70s, and a lot of it was just kind of the political climate because, it's the rise of environmentalism. Sure. There's a lot of inflation. You and I remember the oil embargo.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't become tenable. It became too expensive to build freeways. So the Century Freeway, the 105, that was on the books for like 30 or 40 years, and it got so cost prohibitive that they, finally built it at, it's for several $1 billion and opened it in 93. So that was LA's last freeway.
You know what's amazing, though, is, I was born and raised here in the San Fernando Valley, and I'm not, super old, but I'm even old enough to remember, where we didn't have the 118 freeway or the 210 that went out past the 57 eastbound. I mean, it's amazing that I've been around for two major freeways that have opened here.
Yeah, what's cool is I remember watching Chips, with
Yes.
Ponch and John.
Yes.
And I loved when they were shooting on the freeways and doing these, high-speed chases. And they were shooting on the 118 and the 210 because they were unfinished.
That's right.
And the production company actually rented those freeways just to shoot Chips on them while they were building it. They pay Caltrans.
I knew that show was in trouble when the second episode of Chips, they had an A story and a B story. The B story on the second episode of Chips was somebody was stealing the plants on the shoulders. And I thought,
that sounds like a subplot. I mean, that's not even worthy of a subplot.
I don't know how. Look, 2 million people live in the San Fernando Valley. If it was its own city, it'd be the seventh largest city in America, about the size of Houston. And yet we have one freeway that intersects the valley, the 405. That's it. You would have to go all the way to the west to the 23 or all the way to the east, the 170 or the 5 freeway, and there's nothing in between.
Well, they were going to build the Whitnall Freeway. That's, currently you have Whitnall Highway going through North Hollywood and Burbank. That was supposed to be a freeway, and then it was going to link up and go west along Roscoe Boulevard. So you would have had a freeway in between the 101 and the 118, and it would have been the Whitnall Freeway going through there across Roscoe, because the Mid-Valley really kind of needs a freeway. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, you bet.
And then it would have bent down and gone to Malibu, but it would have cut through those beautiful canyons like Topanga or Malibu Canyon. So, in some ways it's good they didn't build the Whitnall Freeway.
Well, I got a different perspective now that we've had these fires. I say we build a freeway from Sunset all the way to Ventura, right on the top of those mountains, and it'd be a natural fire break.
But fires jump freeways, though. They're beasts now. They're mega fires. Even a freeway is not enough to protect against a wildfire.
Not if I design it. If I design it, we're going to be in good shape.
You can do a 20-lane freeway. It's going to be wide enough to land planes on it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, made of water.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Mostly ice and water. Are you going to go out for the big celebration when they finally finish the Mountain Lion Bridge?
I would like to. I mean, if someone's going to invite me.
God almighty. I don't know where we are in life, where, houses are burning down and we got a bridge for mountain lions that are eventually going to come over and kill your dogs and cats, because that's what they eat.
Well, they've got to eat too.
That's right. That's right. You got to pay your $900 dog for dinner. All right. So let's talk about Inventing Paradise, the power brokers who created the dream of Los Angeles. When you go into, how deep do you go? Do you go into the Eaton family when you talk about the families that are instrumental in building LA?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, Freewaytopia kind of led me to this book. It's my latest book because I kind of went back before freeways. Like, who are the guys who really kind of made Los Angeles what it is so we could even have freeways and expand to 468 square miles from 28 square miles. And so I kind of focus on mostly 5 or 6 titans. Fred Eaton is not one of them, but Mulholland is. And Eaton, of course, worked with Mulholland to bring water down here from the Owens Valley. So that's a big part of the book.
A little bit ironic that Eaton did it in a very deceptive way in buying property in the Central Valley and then moving the water rights down to L.A. And then 100 years later, we have a major fire named after that family.
That is weird.
It is.
Yeah, he's kind of the villain behind the Owens Valley, stealing their water. It's not Mulholland, but people, uninformed people, feel that Mulholland was the guy, and yeah, he certainly did his part to be duplicitous, but it wasn't his idea to even do the aqueduct. He was just the engineer behind it. It was Fred Eaton's idea. So let's vilify him.
Right, look, it's a great idea because they discovered that the water source up in Northern California is incredibly higher altitude than Los Angeles. So all they have to do is just build build the barriers, and that gravity will bring it down to Los Angeles. It was actually a brilliant thing to come up with.
It was, and that was Mulholland's doing. He was a self-made man, a self-taught engineer. But what I love, like some of the other characters in my book, like Harry Chandler, Harrison Gray Otis, they ran the LA Times then, and they used the Times as basically just propaganda to push their projects through to grow to the city. And what I love is I came across some articles where the Owens River, they were claiming in the Times, in order to get the aqueduct built, they were trying to tell the public that the Owens River used to connect to the LA River. And that there was an earthquake 1,000 years prior, and it kind of made a natural barrier between the rivers. So really, that water is ours.
Yes,
the Owens River.
That's exactly right.
It.
Yeah,
it was God ordained. Yeah. So no scientists were ever quoted. No geologists. Right. If they did quote anyone, it was always in the passive voice or experts say. It was just like a classic case of bogus journalism.
Paul,
but
it worked. Is it Haddad or Haddad?
Haddad.
Haddad. Okay, Paul Haddad's with us. He's going to have a book signing. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, Paul, let me ask you a question. Let's say the Paul Haddad family is broke. You spent everything at Vegas or the racetrack, or whatever, and you're broke. And then I said to you, well, do you have any assets? And you say, yeah, you have $2 million in your savings account, but you don't want to touch that. And I'd be like, oh, well, why wouldn't you go into your savings account to help your family? And you're like, well, I don't like to do that. Okay. Let's take that in the broader picture. We have a savings account, a water savings account in Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe can fill up every inch of California with 8 inches of water. So when we need water, let's drain Tahoe and get back to partying in this state.
You'd have to fight with San Francisco or other towns for that water.
Screw them. All right, Paul. I'm sorry. Where are you going to be signing books tomorrow? This is an important deal.
I will be actually it's Sunday, Superbowl Sunday.
Sunday.
So yeah, I'm encouraging people to pregame at the Barnes and Noble in Santa Monica, 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What time?
And I'll be there till
1
3.
o'clock. Okay, 1 to 3.
Yeah, 1 to 3.
All right, and where is the Barnes and Noble?
It's back on the 3rd Street Promenade where they used to be.
Oh, nice.
And then, and then they went, they sold it, I think, 5-6 years ago. And then they just reopened last August at a smaller location, but also right there on the promenade near Wilshire.
Oh, you know what? I'm so happy because that was a big part of the promenade for a while. And when they left, it sort of became seedy. I hope they reinvent that area.
It's one of the few oases, and yes, it's still kind of seedy. So if you can just make your way to the Barnes & Noble, you'll be fine.
Okay. All right,
Paul, maybe get some laser tag in.
I appreciate you coming on. Anytime you have a book signing, we'd love to help you out. I know any friend of Clay Rowe is a friend of mine.
Oh, well, thanks, Tim. I appreciate it.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it coming on.
Okay, take care.
Paul Haddad, go check out his book signing at 1 p.m., 1 to 3 p.m. on Super Bowl Sunday, right before the game, right? Slide into the Barnes & Noble there in Santa Monica on the 3rd Street Promenade. It's got 3 great books: Inventing Paradise, The Power Brokers Who Created the Dream of L.A., Freewaytopia, How Freeways Shape Los Angeles, and 10,000 Steps a Day in L.A., 57 Walking Adventures. That guy's great. And look, anytime somebody's writing, books about how great L.A. is or the history of L.A., I think we sort of have to celebrate that. So go to the Barnes & Noble, pick up a book, he'll sign it for you, and then go enjoy the game. We're live here. The chase is over, and nobody was arrested. Kind of a wild day here, Southern California.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
The big Super Bowl is coming up. The big game on Sunday. Everyone's going to enjoy that. The big game. Lots going on here in Southern California over the weekend. You got that book signing out at Barnes & Noble's for that Paul Haddad. Yeah, that's a big deal. And then we also have the Lakers. Who the Lakers playing? LeBron, the oldest player ever to score 40-plus points. So that's another record he's got. And is he on? Okay, let's talk to a George here. George or Tuzar. Oh, I'm probably mispronouncing that. George, you're on KFI. How are you, bub? You there?
I'm there.
George, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Ortuzar.
Ortuzar. All right, buddy. Look,
easy.
I love Santa Anita. I was born and raised in the infield of Santa Anita. I don't know if you know that. And
I know.
I love it. I love especially the day after it rains. Everything's so clean out there and so crisp. It reminds me of when I went there with my dad and my uncles, my grandfather when I was a kid. And there's just such a great vibe of having, the clouds in the mountains. Sometimes it's snow-capped. It's cold. Everybody's got a jacket on. The horses are running. And it reminds me of being back in the late 60s, early 70s out there.
No, it's a dream. The view is spectacular.
Yes.
We're celebrating our 90th year.
Woo!
90 years. What?
That's
this
great.
year's special.
All right, so let's talk about this weekend. We've got a big chili cook-off, and I will tell you though that my chili dollar, whenever I'm going to go buy chili, I can't wait to get to Santa Anita and buy the track chili. I still think it's amongst the world's best.
I love the track chili, and but Saturday, tomorrow, we have the 7th annual chili cook-off.
Yes.
So we're getting all kinds of great, spicy, mouth-watering chili. And the best part, in my eyes, is that 100% of the chili sales is going to Foothill Unity Center, which, they've been on the forefront of the whole fires, the Eaton fires, and giving out so much stuff. So we're doing our best to help them. We stopped racing for a week during the fires, and boy, the parking lot was just full of stuff to give away to all the people. Our hearts went out to everybody. But, so the chili cook-off is going to be fantastic. It's great racing. Tomorrow is it's just an excellent day to come to the track. And then Sunday's the big game.
Yes.
So we got an early post at 11 and extra TVs we put up and some free contests that have football themes to them. We're going 3,000, 1,000 in bingo. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's great. Hey, George, how did, for people that don't know this, and I'm in that group, how did the parking lot turn into a donation center? How did they start? Was that just organically? Did the owners of Santa Anita invite those people in? How did that start?
Yeah, we got a great crew here, including Pete Siberall and some of the people here, and they just, we volunteered and said, look, we're not going to race this weekend. We opened it up, and the donations came out at like much more than we had anticipated.
Yeah.
It was the outpouring of the community was unbelievable. I've never seen so many diapers and so much water in my life. It was unbelievable, and a lot of people took advantage of it. We were so happy to be a part of it, and it was devastating. These fires, I've never seen anything like this. It's just amazing to me.
Never. And I thought to myself, while the donation center at Santa Anita was like 7 football fields of clothes and water and wipes and diapers and all that stuff, and I thought to myself, Man, this is great publicity for Santa Anita. So maybe the next time a horse gets a hangnail, the press will give him a break. And, well, that doesn't happen. Not around here.
Right.
All right. So you're running an 8 race, 9 race, 10 race card tomorrow?
Tomorrow we got 10 big races.
Good.
Then 9 races on Sunday because we want to finish before, obviously before the big game starts.
Sure.
That's going to be very, very cool. And then,
where's the chili cook-off going to be? Is that going to be on the infield, or is that going to be in the grandstands?
No, on the trackside apron. We're going to have it right there. So you get samples, and you'll be able to vote on which one you think is the best. So they're really competing. They're really going to be trying hard. And so it's going to be fantastic. And I got a best bet for you in race number 8.
Oh.
Number 7, Seismic Beauty in race number 8. So you can pay for some of that chili. Bet on Seismic Beauty in race 8.
I'm betting it tonight. Hey, so what time the gates open tomorrow, George?
The gates open at 10 tomorrow and at 9 on Sunday. And come on out, and you'll have a great time, and bring the kids. It's going to be fun.
It's the greatest place for you to take kids, spend the day, and quite possibly walk away with thousands of dollars.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. George, you guys do a kick-ass great job out there. I love it. Keep up the great work, and you always got a friend here on KFI.
We love you. We love you. And
you're the best.
More details, just go to SantaAnita.com. SantaAnita.com.
SantaAnita.com. George, thank you. All right, there you go. Santa Anita this weekend. George Ortuzar is a great guy out there. So let's, by the way, this feature was being brought to you by Advanced Hair. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Make your appointment today at advancedhair.com. Tomorrow, Santa Anita. SantaAnita.com is the website. 10 races on Saturday, 9 races on Sunday, a chili cook-off tomorrow. Tomorrow. At Santa Anita. That's where I'll be. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. So come on out. We can get mustard on our clothes together. Because no matter if you have mustard or not, when you go to the racetrack, you always go home with mustard on you. That's the rule.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Every Friday, we do a segment called How Can We Make You Some More Money? Yep. And it is Friday, and a little after 6:30, so we're right on time. We have a guest here, a guy named Ryan Umina is with us. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Tim?
I am doing fantastic. I appreciate you asking. Darren McMillan sent me this thing, and he texted to me, and he says, hey, go online and see if you qualify for one of these refunds from the IRS, the self-employed tax credit, I should say. And I went on and I filled out, literally on your website, it took me maybe 2 minutes to answer 4 or 5 questions. And they said, I possibly qualify for $32,000. I would have never known about it unless it was for you guys. So this is something that maybe a lot of people can tune into, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, we built this company understanding, Tim, there's 40 to 80 million Americans that are eligible for earmarked, tens of billions of dollars. And if we didn't create something to get it to them before time runs out, no one was going to know about it. So
wow.
We have, we have helped America recover over $100 million to date.
Man, oh man! So let me ask you. You go in and you tell them, a little bit about, your circumstances, how much you make, and if you're self-employed and all that stuff. Who generally qualifies for this rebate?
So it's really a wide number of people. So they say self-employed, right? And self-employed includes not only, small business owners, sole proprietors, but then every 1099 contractor. So it's Schedule C income. So for most everyone, if it's not W-2 wages, during those years back in 2020 and 2021, if they were impacted at all by COVID, they're eligible. Like I said, it's 40 to 80 million Americans, and 99% have no clue about it.
And where is this money coming from? Was this part of the money that was set aside to help people during COVID?
Yeah, exactly. So the FFCRA, when it was first enacted, created this tax credit. And so the self-employed tax credit is an industry term. It's the qualified sick leave credit and family leave credit, right? So you have actually two credits in place. One is for, any kind of interruptions, having COVID, having a quarantine, being diagnosed, something shut down, right? Have to shut down the business. So, for example, like everyone in the beauty industry with any kind of salon, they were impacted because they were closed down for a long time. And, when they were, in your neck of the woods, producing anything, right? And all of that was shut down.
Right.
That would qualify everyone in the industry who's getting paid, a 1099 versus a W-2, which is so many people. And then when the family leave credit, that's for folks, when schools were shut down, babysitters were shut down, all of those things were shut down. And it's a maximum refund of $32,220.
And real quickly, Ryan, what percentage, as you've been doing this for a little while, what percentage of the people who go to the website and fill out, the 3 or 4 questions on the questionnaire, what percentage actually qualify?
So over time, and this is well over 100,000 applicants, about 53% of our applicants. Yeah, about 53% of our applicants. And some of the great things that we do, we're able to just pull the data we need directly from the IRS. So we have a partnership with ID.me, just like when you log into your IRS account.
Right. We're
able to pull the data for the tax years that we need. And something else awesome that we're able to do, for everyone getting refunds over $3,000 or more, we can get them their funds to them through a banking partnership in about 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that some of your competitors, it takes, they say 60 to 90 days, but you guys can at least get a portion of it out in 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, exactly. So we're super excited about that. And, IRS wait times can vary. If someone just sends it in, right, it can take, 16, 20 weeks or more. So to be able to get people, a good chunk of this in a really short amount of time, it's been awesome.
And this isn't a tax break. This is a check that goes right to the person. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. Now, if someone owes back taxes, the back tax debt is cleaned up first. So for a lot of people, that's better than getting money. So it's a tax refund. So the other great thing, it's not taxable.
Wow.
And then because the IRS pays you as though you overpaid your taxes in 2021. And when they do that, they pay interest on top of it as though they owed you money since 2021. So what we're seeing about right now, typically whatever we quote, there's about 16% interest paid on top of that number.
Okay, so just in broad strokes, before we give out the website, if you qualify, if you potentially qualify, if you filed your taxes in 2021.
Correct, in Schedule C income, right? So it's not the Schedule C or Schedule SE income. Yes.
Okay, and then when somebody does fill out the 4 or 5 questions there on the website, then they fill out their name and all that stuff, and you'll notify them pretty quick if they qualify?
Yeah, we have the option because of the partnerships we have. Someone can actually get officially done with the entire process in about 15 minutes. So they just come, answer the questions, and then, about half of people have an ID.me login already, and they just log into their ID.me. We pull all the data from the IRS, crunch all the numbers. We created a proprietary software to streamline processes for people because so many people are eligible.
Yeah, I have an ID.me because, I've worked for, over the years, so many different companies, and I got residuals for, stupid things that I did in Hollywood. And so I want to see what the IRS knows about me, not so I can screw them out of any money, so I just don't have to refile. I want to make sure that I include everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for folks that don't, they're able to sign up for it pretty easily. And then, we just pull all that data right from the IRS, and we can have, the official numbers of someone in about 15 minutes. We can get all the forms prepared. And then if somebody's eligible for the express refund option, We send that to our office. Actually, in California, we do another set of quality control on that, review everything, and then we send it off to the IRS, and they get paid in just a matter of days.
I originally saw you guys on ABC, and I know that's on your website as well. The maximum check that people can get, I believe, is $32,250 or $220.
Yes, $32,220.
Okay. All right. How do people get this refund? Where's the website that they can check out right now?
Absolutely. Go to SETCpros.com. So like setcpros.com.
All right. Set, the letter C, and then PROS.com.
Yes, sir.
And what's the deadline? How quickly do people have to do this?
For most people, it's April 15th. So
of this year.
Especially if they want, yes, April 15th of this year. Some folks who filed extensions will be able to do it a little bit later, but, just consider the deadline to be safe, April 15th of this year.
Okay. SETCpros.com.
Yes, sir.
But I appreciate coming on, and I hope a lot of people get a lot of checks.
Me too.
Okay.
Thanks so much for having us, Tim.
All right. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan Umina with this company that goes out there and researches all these programs to make sure you get the money back. So if you file taxes in 2021, please go to the website. You got to go before April 15th, and maybe you can get a check for $32,220. SETCpros.com.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Steph asked me something interesting off during the break. He said in 2021, he was driving Uber and Lyft. Does he qualify for that check? And I think you do.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So if you were listening to the last segment, you could possibly qualify. And I saw this guy on ABC. That's how I discovered this young man. But he said if you go to the website and if you're Schedule C, which I think it means you did some 1099 work, or taxes weren't taken out. It wasn't a typical W-2 or W-4 or W-8 or WD-40, whatever that is. But Uber and Lyft, I think, qualify. So you could potentially get a check for $32,220. That's government money. They put that out there for you people. So if people are going to take that, the money's out there anyway, might as well go for it and try to get some money for you and your family. Take that $32,000 and put it in a college fund for your kids, or go to Vegas, or go to Morongo, or go to Hawaii. How about that? So go to the website and see if you qualify for this money. And I hope you do. SETC, like the word set, S-E-T, the letter C is in Charlie, pros, PROS.com. SETCpros.com. $32,220. Could be yours. So that's a good deal. Go check it out. Hope you get the money. Hope you get it. I hope you enjoy it. Enjoy the hell out of it. All right, Donald Trump's going to the Super Bowl. There's going to be a lot of security there because yours truly, your girlfriend's going to be there, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's going to the Super Bowl.
And security preparations are underway in New Orleans ahead of President Trump's attendance at the Super Bowl. Trump will become the first sitting president to appear at the big game. ABC.
Doesn't that seem odd that Donald Trump is the first president? It's 2025 and no president's ever been to the Super Bowl.
Trump will become the first sitting president to appear at the big game. ABC News Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Barr is in New Orleans with more on that.
Here we go.
Luke, I can't even imagine. How do you secure a president in a venue like this?
Yeah, it's very difficult to do.
Well, Diane, the Super Bowl was already going to be secure, perhaps the most secure Super Bowl in U.S. history. But now, of course, the President of the United States is coming, and that brings a whole nother layer of security with it. I'm told by the special agent in charge of the Homeland Security investigations, which is sort of leading the federal coordinated effort, that they're securing this game by land, air, and C. I'm talking extra tactical teams, extra sort of canines that are bomb-sniffing dogs. This is what's called the Tier 1 event, Diane, which means it gets the highest level of federal coordination from the federal government to make sure that this game is secure.
There you go. All right, game's going to be secure. Why do companies spend so much money on Super Bowl ads? Why? And is that money worth it?
The Super Bowl, America's biggest sporting event, and so much more. Some of us watch for the football, others wait for halftime. And in between the two, so many tuning in for the commercials. Classic ads can live on in American culture for decades. But if you want a shot at that kind of glory this year, it's going to cost some serious dough. A source telling CNBC broadcaster Fox sold some ads for a record $8 million each, which did not scare advertisers away.
Wow. If you're still bent on blowing this fat stack of cash, there's a couple ways you could do it.
$8 million for a 30-second spot.
So why are companies shelling out big time if traditional TV is hemorrhaging viewers to streaming in our phones?
Yeah.
So the Super Bowl is really unique in that people want to watch the advertising. They're looking forward to it. The other thing in terms of viewership, the Super Bowl keeps trending up.
More than 123 million people watched last year's Super Bowl.
And now with Taylor Swift back, with the Kelseys and the Kelsey mom, and it's going to take off. The president's going to be there, so you get all the the red team is going to be there. Oh, it's going to be a big, big day.
Nielsen says that helped set the record for the largest audience for a single network telecast in history.
When you realize the U.S. only has 330 million people, you're going to reach about 1 out of every 3 people in the country.
Okay, it's worth it then. For $8 million, that's worth it.
There's no other way to do this.
One market research company says the average Super Bowl ad is 20 times more effective than a regular TV ad at driving brand perceptions. And featuring a celebrity, while costing even more, can also pay off.
We're doing a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, right?
Expected this year, Ben and Casey Affleck teaming up with Jeremy Strong, the latest talker from Dunkin' Donuts.
Please tell me the Manning brothers aren't going to be in 9 out of 10 of these spots. The Manning brothers. They're everywhere.
The cast of NBC Universal's Fast and Furious reuniting for a Haagen-Dazs ad.
I can't believe they let us back in this place.
And Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan adding to the excitement, recreating the iconic scene from When Harry Met Sally. Sydney Sweeney even making a cameo.
I'll have what she's having.
This time, they're having Hellmann's mayonnaise. Other brands introducing new faces. Duracell says it's running its first ever national Super Bowl ad, introducing an ambassador to take on a perennial icon, the Energizer Bunny.
Oh, that's interesting. I never know. I would thought that Duracell would have run a spot every year. This is their first spot.
They keep going and going.
When everybody has seen the same ad, all of a sudden that's something people can talk about. And they can, in case, it can turn your ad into a discussion topic. And it can even emerge as part of the whole culture and society.
There you go. All right, my prediction is Philadelphia is going to win in a blowout by 19 points. So, load up on Kansas City. Load up on Kansas City. I am never right, ever. So,
is that your bet?
Yep. So, put your house or your car on the
Eagles.
No, on the Kansas City. Chiefs, because I think Philadelphia is going to win by 19, which means Kansas City will win by 20 or more. So I never get it right. Ever get it right. Philadelphia by 19. Watch this Kansas City blowout.
With your Pringles.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. What is that? What was the slogan? Pop, you can't stop.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
You pop, you can't stop. All right, that's great. Mo Kelly next, right here on KFI AM 640. Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.